Deus Ex Human Revolution is the long-awaited prequel to the original Deus Ex. This prequel carries over a lot of the original's gameplay and mechanics, while at the same time adding some new ones. The game is a mixture of a first-person shooter and an RPG, with a heavy optional addition of stealth-based gameplay, as well as a lengthy story that lasts well over the 20-hour mark. The game features a Blade Runner-inspired setting that is visually stunning and unique. It has multiple ways of approaching missions, which means that you can approach it from many different playstyles, whether it be stealth or just simply all guns blazing. The story follows Sarif Industries' chief of security, Adam Jensen. Jensen is fatally wounded in an attack on the company and has no choice but to be augmented in order to save his life. The game's portrayal of these augmentations is basically cybernetics, and it fits in well with the game's theme of transhumanization. Jensen sets out to find the company's attackers, and in the process unravels a conspiracy far greater than he could have predicted. The game is very story-driven, so I won't spoil any of the major plot points in this review. The core focus of the gameplay is a good amount of exploration and combat, mixed with elements of hacking and skill management, which is handled in the form of augmentation upgrades. These upgrades come in the form of things such as stealth cloaking and the ability to punch through weak walls, which opens up alternative ways to approach situations or can find hidden things. There are of course many other augmentation upgrades, but I won't get into them too much as there is a great amount available. The game's combat utilises a third-person cover system alongside its standard first-person shooter design. This comes in handy during large firefights, but also comes in handy during the more stealthier approaches. The game's aspect of stealth and combat is constantly rewarding, as you will earn XP for killing enemies, but you'll also earn XP for exploring the area while being stealthy. The combat works very well, with gunfights feeling very immersive, with great sound design and a smooth control scheme. The stealthier side of combat utilises a close quarters kill mechanic, in which you can sneak up on enemies and trigger a small cinematic of Jensen incapacitating a foe. This renders them either unconscious or dead, depending on how you choose to take them out. This mechanic helps greatly during stealth situations, and it also offers some creative cutscenes of Jensen taking out enemies. Weapons can be upgraded using mods that you can purchase from merchants in the game, or that you can find laying around in the location by exploring a little. These mods come in the form of things like silencers and clip size upgrades, and can be very useful throughout the game. During large portions of the game, you will be exploring a large hub-based world, in which you come across side missions that will earn you more rewards. The open-ended levels also offer many ways to approach a situation, whether it be from a rooftop, an air vent, or even the sewer. The game's side missions are fairly varied, with some missions asking you to explore a target's apartment, while others may ask you to take out a group of gang members, or help out one of Jensen's allies. The varied nature of the side missions really makes each one unique and constantly interesting, without them getting too repetitive or stale. The main story missions take place in a great amount of different environments, from the streets of Detroit all the way to facilities and office buildings. The levels are brilliantly designed, with each area offering multiple ways to reach a goal, depending on how you want to play the game. Each mission caters towards action and stealth in such a brilliant way that it is actually possible to go through a mission without even killing anyone, with the exception of boss fights. Multiple choice is a key aspect of Deus Ex Human Revolution, with multiple dialogue options and ways to complete missions being very reminiscent of the original Deus Ex. A conversation with another character could become a hostile ordeal, or a fairly simple one, depending on the player's chosen responses. Convincing characters to let you into a restricted area, for example, can help greatly during a mission, or can change how a mission could end. The game's graphics are very impressive, with the game's varied locations featuring a very Blade Runner-inspired art design, complete with heavily lit up buildings and neon signs. This approach to the game's visuals really succeeds in creating a convincing portrayal of a dystopian future. The voice acting is solid throughout the game, and the interactions between characters is convincing enough to convey the story. The game's soundtrack is also very Blade Runner inspired, and is brilliant and memorable, and really adds to the game's visuals and themes. Overall, Deus Ex Human Revolution is a lengthy, well-designed and rewarding experience, with a deep storyline, varied gameplay, and inspired visuals that are very unique. The multiple ways to approach missions and conversations adds a great amount of replay value, and the game features 4 different endings that become possible depending on the choices you make throughout the game. Deus Ex Human Revolution succeeds in story, it succeeds in gameplay, but it also succeeds in doing the original Deus Ex justice.